Hello guys, this is What About Nintendo, and today I'm here for another graphics comparison analysis. Today we're going to be going over the recently revealed Fire Emblem 3 Houses. And the game we're going to be comparing it to is the last Fire Emblem game to appear on a home console. It's been a while. This was back on the Wii, guys. Radiant Dawn. So we're going to be looking at how technology has progressed over two systems. It's been two systems. We didn't get one on the Wii U, and we're getting one on the Switch. So it's been two systems since we've had a Fire Emblem game on Nintendo console. The graphics have come a long way since then. So how does this treat Fire Emblem? How is Nintendo using the extra power of the Nintendo Switch, the insane power jump from the Wii to the Nintendo Switch for Fire Emblem? That's what we're going to be talking about today, and we got a lot to talk about. This video is probably going to be pretty long, so let's get right on into it. First off, let's start with character models. The character models see a huge improvement in detail. Not only is the polygon count vastly higher, but the detail on clothes and weapons has been vastly improved. Blurry textures over flat surfaces have been replaced with detailed texture over 3D models with a high polygon count. Things like hair have also seen a massive upgrade, actually showing individual strands of hair rather than just colored chunks. Lighting to the models gets a huge boost, with ambient occlusion seemingly taking shadow quality to the next level, and a possible subsurface scattering effect causing skin to look far nicer. However, I'm not 100% sure that subsurface scattering is indeed here, but there are some scenes that lead me to believe that the effect may be present. This scene in particular caught my interest, as you can see that the coloring and lighting on the main character's face exhibits a look similar, at least, to subsurface scattering, but obviously not a super detailed effect, as the art style has a more cartoony, sort of anime look to it. Another nice upgrade is that when in the map view, character models are now displayed in full quality, rather than being highly simplified like in Radiant Dawn. The last upgrade is that enemy models are now just as high quality as the main character models. In Radiant Dawn, the models of the enemies you fought were often of a far lower quality than the actual player models. In Three Houses, the quality of the models are the same for enemies and player characters. Next up, battle effects. Something that I noticed right away in this trailer is that the effects during battle look really flashy. Particle effects are indeed present and used very well in the trailer, and a ripple distortion effect is also used, making the moves look more powerful. Some of the attacks are also very colorful. For example, in this scene with the archers, we see a blue glow around the arrows and blue particle effects coming off of them as well. It looks really nice, especially since blue is my favorite color. The matching in this game also looks great. For example, this scene where a fire tome is being used, the flames in the main attack are very highly detailed, and particle effects can be seen coming from every single attack, even from the flames of the generic characters supporting the main character in the fight. This is a great improvement over Radiant Dawn, which only uses effects meant to simulate particle effects. While this looked pretty good at the time, they're a far cry from what we're seeing in Three Houses. Resolution and anti-aliasing. The resolution of the game appears to be a full 1080p, since it's very clear and details appear very sharp. However, since the only footage we have is a compressed YouTube video, actually going in and counting the pixels is very hard, so I cannot tell you for sure if this is 1080p. Obviously, this game has at least some amount of anti-aliasing. While there is certainly some shimmering on edges, and namely character models, the amount of aliasing is overall small compared to that of a raw 1080p image. Take for example Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. While it is a full 1080p, there are tons of sawtooth edges from the lack of anti-aliasing. Looking back at Three Houses, the edges look a lot smoother, and there's noticeably less shimmering and aliasing. Compare that to Radiant Dawn, which, while the footage I've shown so far is a full 1440p with 2 times MSAA, in order to compare models without the lower resolution of the game getting away, the real game is of a much lower quality. Radiant Dawn was initially a 480p game with no anti-aliasing to speak of. Three Houses is definitely a massive upgrade here. Environment detail. World detail is one of the areas where this game really shines over Radiant Dawn. Gone are the environments with extremely low polygon counts, textures that make you want to throw up, and a complete lack of any good lighting effects. Instead, the environments are highly detailed, full of lush foliage, beautiful lighting effects such as bloom and volumetric light rays, and a great use of ambient occlusion and high-resolution shadow maps. However, not every environment is created equal. While this sunny, grassy open plain looks gorgeous, this rainy forest leaves much to be desired. A lack of foliage mixed with textures that aren't so great makes this area look kinda bad, and the fact that the anisotropic filtering seems to be of low quality, this area looks really dated. However, the game is still in development and a ways off, so it could be fixed, but as it stands, this area sticks out like a sore thumb. However, the game easily blows away anything we saw in Radiant Dawn, and other areas of the trailer look fantastic. Just look at the difference in quality on the map views in both games. Radiant Dawn had low poly environments, with extremely primitive textures that were so bad you could see clear breaks where one texture ends and another begins. However, Three Houses features highly detailed environments that look rather pleasing to the eye. This also applies to the battle view where characters are actually attacking. Instead of a short back loading screen, the views change in real time, with a nice use of motion blur to cover up any pop-in the game may have. The difference in world detail here is obvious, with high poly environments, great texture quality, tons of detailed foliage, and great lighting effects like bloom. Even the disappointing forest area I mentioned earlier looks amazing when compared to Radiant Dawn. Another thing I mentioned earlier is how great the shadows are in Three Houses. Radiant Dawn actually has great shadows for the characters considering the hardware, but while the character's shadow is sharp, it lacks any sort of diffusion, and the shadows in the environment themselves are extremely basic. However, in Three Houses you can see that the shadows are not only very accurate, but properly diffused, and ambient occlusion is applied to environments, making them look very nice. Lastly, I'd like to point out just how amazing the explorable castle looks. The castle segments are easily the most impressive looking part of this entire game, since it includes every great graphical feature in Three Houses all in one area. High quality textures, high polygon counts, and impressive shadow and lighting quality come together for something truly spectacular. Of course, there are some rough edges here and there, like in this first scene you can see a rather low resolution shadow in the far right of the screen. However, this isn't a big deal as it's in the player's peripheral vision and the game isn't complete, so it may be fixed in the final version. The highs definitely beat out the lows in this situation. Take for instance this scene of the player character running alongside a wall with foliage growing on it and a tower in the background. The incredible use of ambient occlusion, the diffuse shadows being cast perfectly onto the tower from the nearby tree and onto the wall from the plants growing on it, mixed with a high polygon count and great textures on all objects, really makes this area look outstanding. Finally, going back to the first scene of the castle, we can see the game's great lighting system at work, with both gorgeous bloom lighting and volumetric light rays. Not to mention the sky itself in this game is a work of art, with beautifully rendered clouds that interact with the lighting very well. This is even more apparent in the first battle scene of the trailer. I kinda get the sense that this game might have a physically based rendering lighting system, just because the lighting in this game seems to interact with the clouds in a much more nuanced way, instead of just being more of a generic look. However, this is not confirmed, and it's really hard to tell at this point with how little we've seen in the trailer, so we'll just have to wait and see. Finally, frame rate. So we've concluded that Three Houses easily destroys Radiant Dawn in terms of graphics. But how does the performance hold up under all these graphical effects? Well, the answer is a tad bit disappointing. Frame rate is an area of the game that has actually seen a noticeable downgrade. In Radiant Dawn, the target FPS was 60 frames per second, and it kept it fairly well. However, in Three Houses, the target frame is only 30 frames per second. I confirmed this by actually slowing down the trailer from the official Nintendo YouTube channel, which oddly the trailer itself was in 60 frames per second, and slowed it down to 60 times slower than the normal speed and counted the individual frames. Since unique frames were only shown once every 2 seconds, rather than a 60 FPS game would refresh at, I can't confirm the game is only 30 frames per second. Strangely enough though, there is one 60 FPS scene in the trailer. At one point in the trailer, the main character is shown before the scene pans over to an epic shot of the explorable castle area. This pan is actually done in a full 60 frames per second. However, when they showed actual exploration of the castle itself, the frame rate was 30 frames per second. Odd. Well guys, that's all for this video. This is all I could take away for the graphics of Three Houses. Of course, we only have one trailer, so there were a lot of things that I couldn't cover or fully touch on. So when the game actually comes out fully in spring 2019, I will do another graphics comparison so that we can get even more of a sense of how far we've come graphically. But I hope this video helps you to show just how far we've come and just how much love and work is being poured into Three Houses. But maybe you're not content. Maybe you're a little bit disappointed that we didn't go the extra mile. Maybe there's some other graphical effects or something that didn't look as good to you. Maybe that explorable or maybe that forest area that I was talking about that was a little disappointing, maybe that's a bit of a turn off to you. Let me know what you thought of the graphics of this game down in the comments below. But anyways guys, that's all for this video. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this Monday through Saturday. Gaming live streams Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and Coffee Talk Monday through Friday, where I talk with you guys at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time about all the latest Nintendo news. Anyways guys, thank you for watching. I'll see all you dudes later on What About Nintendo. Bye.